Green shiny Pokemon. Yes, we need to do this. Does it have all of them? It has up to like Sword and Shield. What if I go by like recent? Then it might have the... No, then we got large fanfic trope list. Why does that happen when you like look up green shiny? Green shiny. Let's go back to Popular Town and go to this one. Green shiny Pokemon. Green shiny Pokemon up to Gen 8 because Gen 9 isn't out. This is all based off of my observation. Some may be missing. I don't like the sound of this. I don't. I need I need the confidence here. A lot of people here. Okay, here we have the thesis. A lot of people don't like green shinies. Welcome to my YouTube essay. But have you ever tried ranking them? You might just find something you like. If there's a green shiny not on here, please at Liz Meow on Twitter. This looks pretty complete. Like, this looks pretty comprehensive here. Okay, so let me see here. It even has like the multiple versions of the three faces of Venusaur. Wait a second. So does that mean like the Gigantamax Blastoise isn't green? He escaped. He escaped the shame of being green. The green shiny fanfic trope. Yes, totally. Okay, so where do we start here? I think we like start with like what is like the... Do we just start at the top and go through this like one by one? Here's Sableye. Someone's gonna be really happy when they see this. When they see this. All right. So green Bulbasaur, like the thing about this is that like, also we need to like change this up because it needs to be like Pipit tier, isn't it? Pipit tier is S. Then we have like okay, acceptable. A for acceptable. B for bleh. C for crappy, and D for diarrhea. All right, okay. So I think like Bulbasaur is like acceptable green because like Bulbasaur is green normally, but normally Bulbasaur is that kind of like toothpaste kind of turquoise green color. But I think there's something kind of like really pleasing about this pea green Bulbasaur, right? You have to kind of like it, and I think the same applies to like the Ivysaur. These are like examples of Pokemon where like being green like works. Like it's like it makes sense for their shiny to be kind of like a different type of green. Like they're just kind of like a more vibrant sort of like pastelly kind of a green, and then you have like the orange flowers instead of pink. I just think it looks cool, right? I'm wondering, is anything ever going... Can any green shiny Pokemon be in Pipit tier? I'm not sure. I really don't know. So, I think as well, one of the things we need to think of is like, okay, what do we expect the alternative to be? So, if we're saying like that this Pokemon looks shit when it's green, what do we think color do we think they should have been instead, or something like that? Should be also something that we consider, I imagine. Like, I don't know, like, green, purple Blastoise is kind of, like, meh. Like, the purple aspect of him is cool, but would it not have been cooler to make the shell a different color other than green? I don't get, like, why the shell has to be poopy green color. Like, what color did they make, like, shiny Wartortle? Shiny Wartortle's shell is also green. Well, I guess we're gonna have to at Liz Meow and tell her that her playlist is her like Tiermaker list is incomplete. Also, look at this. What is up with this? Like the like the most pleasing looking Wartortle image in history. Oh well, Oliver Hamlin did a good job. So puke green Kakuna is like, this is like where we get to the highlighter green ugly territory. They're just crappy, like this kind of like bile green, like stinky bile green color. He's not ruined. He's been improved. Look at all of these like amazing pictures. Also this. also this. Let's just we could get stuck looking at War Turtle all night. Command W, close tab. Okay. I feel like a lot of things are going to be in like this bleh like category. Like some of them that are like this like, because even though they are kind of like meh because they're green, they're not like ugly, disgusting highlighter puke green. Like so I think like most things are going to end up in this bleh category unless they're pleasing to the eye. Case in point, Ratata bleh. You just go to crappy. You two. And you as well, you're just like crappy colored green things. Like you could be so many other interesting colors. This is where we get to like diarrhea territory. Like, sorry, but Nidoqueen, what did they do to you? Like, you look so cool, this kind of like periwinkle blue purple color. And then they give you like, they turn you into Princess Fiona wearing a pink like double D bikini. Like, sorry, but it's just awful. Like, it's just so awful. What did they do to this cool Pokemon? Like, could you imagine like the only shiny you ever found and it's this? Oh, those are lots of ways to say hello. You're right. Well, fancy that. Welcome. Anyway, imagine if like you were like playing Pokemon and the only shiny Pokemon you ever found and you got so excited and it was this. Or even worse, if it was like shiny Nidoran female. Like you see shiny Nidoran female and it's pink. And then you're like, oh cool, a pink Nidoran female. I wonder what it'll evolve into. And then you see this. Like, you see this. And it's not even cool. Like it yeah, you were speaking from experience. Like, look, they did a cool thing when they kept like the like what they did with like the Nidoran male is that they said, oh, we'll just swap the color, so like the male Nidoran and the Nidorino and the Nidoking just become the same colors as Nidoqueen. And then like with Nidoran female, they start doing the same thing, and then you just end up puke green ogre wearing pink size 25 bikini. Like, it's just awful. So you are our first Pokemon to be relegated to diarrhea, and it's because we feel sorry for you. That's why. Yes, I agree. They should just have given it like Nidoking colors, and then like everyone would be happy. But they had to try and be a smart little girl, like to quote King Curtius, who may he guide us and light our way. Yeah, and Machamps.com. That's another example. Just wait till we get to him. So I think like green Sandshrew is crappy. Like, imagine like blue Sandshrew would be cool, but no, they have to go for like bile green color. As well, like a lot of the ones that are like green, they end up being like green and like salmon color, which is just like makes me feel sick. Like, it just makes me feel like I want to cough up like stomach acid and burn my throat. That's what I'm like. You're like diarrhea color. Like, seriously, like you two, like baby poop diaper nappy green, and then like rouge pink salmon wings. It's just like awful. Vileplume is like Pipitier. Sorry, but like Vileplume is our first like inductee into the Pipitier of like green shiny Pokemon, because Vileplume actually looks cool. It's really different from the normal color. So like the normal color would be again kind of like a soft periwinkle blue kind of a color, and then like a red flower, and then they make it like green with like an orange color flower, which kind of like the same thing they did with Bulbasaur. But it still works, it still makes sense, but it's also like really different from the normal color that they are. So it's exciting and it's just cool and it just looks good. So Vileplume, in the realm of shiny green Pokemon, you have a place at the king's table. You go into, like, sorry, but you should not be green. Like, these creatures, these monkeys should not be green. There's something wrong with them. They're just awful. Are you hunting for shiny green Pokemon, Zack and Nature? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're doing? I hope not. So yeah, you belong in diarrhea territory as well, because it's just like, it seems wrong that something that seems like like this type of creature is green. Like, it just doesn't feel comforting. Green Oddish is acceptable. Green Gloom, I think Green Gloom is also acceptable. Like, Green Gloom is like acceptable plus. Oh, cool. Bulbasaur only is also cool. We literally just, like, a couple of minutes ago, like about 15-20 minutes ago, finished the defeated Red in the Dunsparce solo run of Heart Gold. So, best of luck. Poliwrath, green Poliwrath? What color is like green? Is what color is like shiny Poliwhirl? Okay, so shiny Poliwhirl belongs to like an equally cursed category of shiny Pokemon, which is shiny Pokemon that are just the same color. Like like okay, like seeing green Poliwhirl up close here now just like makes me very happy to put you into crappy tier. It's not like insultingly ugly looking, but it's also not great either. Like, I just don't like any of you anyway, so you are all just going into diarrhea tier anyway, because look, this is just Battletoads. Like, sorry, but this is just like a Battletoad with 2 extra arms. That's all it is. Like, that's all it is Battletoad. Like, do you see what I mean? That's all it is. This ugly, horrific thing. They're ugly anyway. They're just like, I never want to see them, even if they're green. Yeah, this is actually, no, you're right. I stand corrected. I think you go in bleh, because at least you're like not hideous. You know, you're right. It's kind of like a kind of a verdigris bronze kind of a color. Okay, so this, you also go to diarrhea town. You're not going to flavor town, because like, one, I find it offensive that you would take like a yellow Pokemon with green leaves and just like oversaturate the green element of those two colors and call it a shiny Pokemon. And like Victory Bell, the same thing, except you couldn't even get the color of the leaves right if you made them like orange or something like that. But no, they're like poo brown color. And then blue. Why blue? It's just like it's offensive looking. It's just hideous. And then like, and as well, it's even more offensive because I really like these Pokemon. Like, I really like Victory Bell and Weepin' Bell, and then they do something like this to them. It's just, it's not cool. It's just not cool. You also go to diarrhea. There should don't be no like green ostriches here. I just don't want to see them. Like, it's because of like the shade of green as well. It's like this weird, like, kind of like the Kakuna, this kind of like highlighter, like disgusting, like you as well. I see you there. Like, it's this disgusting, like, bile color. Like, it's that's the only word I can use to describe it, is bile green. I didn't even know what color is like normal shiny Kingler. I didn't know that, like, It's like a weird color. Well, it's green as well. To be honest, that looks kind of cool. Like this kind of green Kingler. Like I can go for that. I think you go up in Bleh as well, because it's kind of like the type of green it is kind of nice. It's kind of like a petrol kind of green color, kind of like a dark teal green. You're not as offensive looking as Marowak because the green isn't as like highlighter color. You just go to Diarrhea Town straight away. I'm flushing you down. Green Chansey, I kind of really like weirdly enough, like shiny Chansey. I need to get like more source material. Like there's something kind of likable about this for some reason. Like it's kind of like a soothing, like kind of watermelon kind of effect going on or something. Oh my god, there's like more of these than I thought of. Did you notice how like the number of them gets less and less each generation? Like we're still in generation 1. It feels like half of the Pokemon in generation 1 are green, like puke green when they go shiny. Um green Tangela is also Pippeteer. Green Mr. Mime is bleh. Like I don't get, like, I think it's okay if it's green, but it's also not fun that it's green, so it goes to bleh. Like you're just like in insulting the fact that you take like Scyther, which is already green, and just make it like an ugly shade of green is just insulting. Like maybe it's not like diarrhea, maybe it's more like crappy, but it's just like, why not make it something like orange or something like that? Like I wonder if anyone, like, orange would look cool. Shiny Scyther is just awful. What about orange Scyther? Like this, transparent and orange. It should be transparent as well, into the bargain. Um, Horrific green highlighter, green puke color, horrific green snot color Jolteon. This is kind of crappy. I think this is like the same as Kakuna, where it could have been okay, but it's just the wrong shade of green. And then this is worse. Like it's the same as like the it's the same as like Cubone and Marowak. Like the original one looks kind of like okay, but like then it's like, oh, when you evolve you get even uglier. Like moss green Dragonite is kind of bleh. Like it's okay, but it could be better. Like it could have been blue. Actually, it could have been a blue passport. Yeah. Actually, now that I've thought of that idea, you go to crappy, because could you imagine, like, so Dragonair is like this beautiful kind of like azure color and becomes pink. Like, is cool, right? Could you imagine Dragonite blue, like blue Dragonite? Could you imagine like a blue, like how cool would that be? Like, well, he has wings on his head, which is cool as well. But it would just be kind of like cool because it would fit in with the preceding evolutions, So it would kind of be like a callback, if you know what I mean. So that just insults me to the extent that it goes into crappy. Yeah, radioactive green Kabutops, again, I just wish it wasn't. It could be something like. Do you know what I noticed is like none of them are they never make any of the shiny ones like. Well, no, I suppose that's not true because I'm just not seeing them. But it's like, I guess they were just restricted on the colors, right? But then I think like that's not an excuse, because if you can make the shiny Dragonair pink, you can make any shiny Pokemon pink. You know, if you can make Victreebel's lips blue, you can make anything blue. So there are no excuses here. You just all have like the one-way ticket to Diarrheaville, like just straight up. Like you're horrific looking anyway, and then like you're the spawn of Blaine's seed and Mew's egg, like just gone. These are acceptable. like the green Grimer and the green Muck. Again, because they didn't make it like the ugly radioactive piss green color, you know? Like they made it kind of like a sludgy, dirty, icky green, which totally fits, you know? So going from like purple sludge to kind of icky browny green sludge is totally in keeping. So why are you green? You're made of rocks. You're just crappy. Oh, here's Kingler. Oh, it's out of sequence. That's what it is. Well, Kingler, you go up here. You're acceptable. Again, because it's not that disgusting green color. So, this I don't think is really green, but I think it's cool. I really like it. It's moss. You expect me to buy that? It's moss. It's not moss at all. Like shiny onyx should be, I don't know, like brown or something like that. Like this pseudo wudo color. Well, no, it actually is, but it could be something different. I just don't like it. It's awful. I like the kind of the Pipitier pseudo wudo because it has like red leaves, like it's autumn. Yeah, the crystal onyx. Whatever happened to him? It's gone like autumn leaf color, and then it's kind of more of a green, kind of a brown, like moss. Maybe, yeah, maybe it could be uranium, radioactive onyx. So yeah, I'm here for Pipit tier green Sudowoodo. Like, why are you this color? Why are you this shade of green? Why could you take this like lovely Pokemon that's pink, like a really nice watermelon pink color, and then make it this green color? Again, an example of something where they just were lazy and made it all green. And if they made it just like a different green and made the leaves a different color or something, it would have been cool. Like if they made it the gloom colors, like with orange leaves on top instead of green, it's just like, what the hell? Yeah, tell me something sad about Shiny Fearow. Lay it on me. Something sadder than the fact that it's in crappy that it's in crappy tier. Okay. Green Espeon, like I don't know how to feel about you because like on the one hand you're still cool because you're Espeon, but like on the other hand, like why are you green? Like they could have done so much cool stuff. Like they they could have like I think they could have like wait a second, where's Oh, I think I just solved the mystery. I solved the mystery. I cracked the crystal maze. Do you remember I was talking so much about like having it ingrained in my brain that that shiny Azumarill is pink lilac color? I think I just had it like completely confused with Vaporeon the whole time. I literally think that's what happened. Um, but like they could have done anything. They made it green. They could have made it white. Like could you imagine like white Espeon with like even then give it the green jewel? Or if you're going to make it white, make it kind of like the paste, the pale green color. I don't know. Like it just could have been so many other things other than this disgusting like alien color. It's just like I don't like you. Um this, I don't know. I think this kind of like works. This kind of like green mischievous. I think it's okay. It's acceptable. It's not awful. Let's put it that way. It could be better, it could be worse. I'll put you in Bleh, actually. I don't feel that strongly about you. The mystery is solved. That is literally the mystery solved. I was just mixing it up with shiny Vaporeon the whole time. Like, look at this. Majestic. Look at this. Majestic. This one, its proportions are interesting. Just very interesting proportions. This is cool. A little bit like too much, actually. Maybe it's not cool. This is very, like, latexy looking. Shiny latex Vaporeon. Where maybe that appears on the on the fanfic tropes tier list that we accidentally looked at. Oh my god. Yeah, I said say. Oh, the puke green. Oh, so they changed the color? So it used to be. So they changed it from green and then back again? I wonder why they did that. You are diarrhea. Like, you're just awful. Like, it just doesn't look right for you to be that color green. And you, Conan, I'm going to, in your memory, I'm respecting your trauma, and I'm relegating Ursaring to diarrhea tier. Swinub is kind of okay. It's kind of just crappy. Again, it feels weird to me when an animal that's like a mammal is green. Like it's not. Dominatrix Latex Vaporeon is definitely in the in the fanfic trope tier list. Green shiny Skarmory. So like I think you can like argue, is there lore to this? Is it like it's oxidized like verdigris kind of like Skarmory? I think there's like an argument there for that. I think it's okay. It's acceptable. I'm gonna put green Skarmory in acceptable again because it's not like too green. Like they keep it at this kind of like brown kind of color, like a kind of a bronzy sort of green bronze, and then like it's only the wings that have this strong kind of verdigris color, which is good. You just, I'm not even talking to you. I'm not even going to mention your name. That's how much I feel, how strongly I feel about this. You're crappy, but you're fucking lucky because like it looks normal. The like it looks normal that you're that color, but like I find it offensive that in normally you're like a brown yellow brown diarrhea color, and all you've become is like a pink, like a green baby green nappy diarrhea color. Like I find that offensive to my sensibilities. Can we just not take this out? Like I don't need this. I don't consider this a green Pokemon. You look worse than the thing. Okay, so like we have some new entrants to Pipit here because they like shiny Chikorita and shiny Meganium just look right. Oh my god, what was that word? Like this just looks correct. Like this just looks like the way it should be, you know? Even like the thing is like the weird like yellow green color on Meganium doesn't even look strange. Like it looks like that's the way it should be. So you belong in Pipit tier. You look good. I don't respect weird green Totodile. You're kind of like bleh. Like the thing is like you're not very green. It's more like a yellow green color, really, to be honest. I think like green Marill is actually, and green Azurill. You're kind of cool. You're acceptable. Green Cascoon, I don't respect. This looks class. Like whoever designed the shiny for Lombre knew what they were doing. Why are you green? Just why are you green? Green Swellow and green Talo is just weird. This, on the other hand, looks good. Like the green accented Pelipper, I can totally get behind. You being Masquerain buys you a lot of points. That's what's getting you into acceptable. But like, it should be orange. It should be orange. Like it should be like orange Masquerain. Like look at this warm color palette and how nice it looks. Like they should be swapped. I think that's what I think. Like I think like the Masquerain colors, instead of being like turquoise with the kind of like salmon orange kind of wings and nose, it should be like the opposite way around, and then it would look cool, like the color palette swap or something like that. Then it would look good. But you're acceptable. What is this? Like that this looks kind of cool, but it's like weird green mine, and you're just horrific. I'm just not even going to talk about you. And Spinda, sorry. Like, could you imagine again, like, all the options? Like blue Spinda with blue spots, Yankee no brim, like all of the options. You on the other end look cool, like the weird green Trapinch. Shiny Azumarill isn't actually yellow; it's purple. You actually look acceptable, Baltoy. And Lileep as well. You're just like an ugly thing that's after being made more ugly. The same for you. The same for you. The same for you. The same for you. You're okay, just in like bleh tier. This is kind of acceptable, the green. Again, because it like makes sense, because it's like the bronze thing like oxidizes and turns green. I think that's kind of cool. And actually, I think the shade of green that Bronzong becomes is even nicer. Actually, Trapinch, you go down here. You don't deserve to be that lauded. Okay, so you're just like bleh. You have to join Green Tangrowth up here in Pipit tier. Okay, so the green Mamoswine is just offensive looking. Like again, it's like it's not okay for you to make this noble creature look so disgusting. It's just not okay. And you're just horrific as well. And you. Do you know what this looks like? It looks like when you accidentally like turn on the screen inversion on something. And you're just all so ugly. Like you're just all diarrhea. You're kind of okay. You're up in Trapinch tier. Like, this annoys me as well because this Pokemon is so cool. I love it so much. And then they, like, make it ugly green. But it's crappy. You actually, like, I don't notice what's different about you. Aren't you normally that color? My favorite Pokemon? Cloyster. What, like, the easiest question I've ever been at. It has been that way since 1999. Since the last millennium, literally, my favorite Pokemon has been Cloyster. I have like other favorites, but if I had to pick just one, then it has always been and always will be Cloyster. I think you're like the same color as this normally, so you look good. Bleh. This actually, I kind of like this. This kind of like turquoise, Jellicent looks good. Actually, I think like especially the Jellicent looks really good. This is just taking it too far. Not every metal Pokemon needs to be like the green kind of color, so you end up in Bleh Town. Crappy. Bleh. Not even gonna say your name. Say my name, say my name. That song came on the radio during the week. I was so happy. Like I was actually you look kind of like okay. You're like bleh. Actually, you look really cool. What am I saying? Like that was like the most monumental like underdog story of all time, from crappy to Pipit in the space of like 5 seconds of me actually looking at them a second time. Because like what sealed the deal was when I saw Hydreigon and I saw like the purple and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then I looked back at the other ones and I was like, oh, they do actually look really cool. That was like the zero to hero. You're just this color normally, so like whatever. At least the 2 times I've seen you, you've been that color to me. No. Diarrhea green pigeon. Get out of here. Green Sableye? Where was the other Sableye? Shiny Sableye? So I guess it was like the gem that did it, right? Meh, crappy. Diarrhea. Diarrhea. Do. When you're climbing up a ladder and it's pressing on your bladder, diarrhea, diarrhea. Actually, I like the Go-Goats, actually. You go to acceptable because it just looks good. This is like really, really cool looking. Actually, you go to Pipit here. This looks really good. This is how green should be used in a shiny Pokemon. I mean, look at this. They go with like a cool kind of taupe color with the fresh spring green foliage and cool little red hooves. Like they've got those, like you can't run in those little high heels. This is like, I don't respect this. You go to crappy. This is like bleh. The barbarical. This is like too many colors to look at. But it still looks right, but it looks wrong at the same time. I don't know. I don't know. Bleh. I don't think it works the same way that it worked. Where's Babar? Babar? Which one is Babar? Which is... Which one is Babar? Actually, that is a really good song as well. The do 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 da da do da do da do 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 do. Like, this is okay, I guess. This weird like Darmanitan. It's like bleh. Well, yeah, Barbar does wear green. He wears like a green suit and a yellow crown because he's the king elephant or something like that. This is like really cool looking, whatever Pokemon that is. That's that one, Vika Volt, Vic Volt, Vic Vaporub, something like that. Okay, so this looks okay. This looks like bleh. But then you get to this and it's just like crappy. It's like just an offensive combination of weird green and brown colors. Pukumuku I can get behind. You're acceptable. This, I kind of like this. It's just kind of a fruit salad kind of color. But again, it's the red that makes it work. Like, the red makes it work. If it had just been, like, more green and yellow and brown, then it would just have been horrific. This, I can't even look at that without feeling uncomfortable. You look kind of cool. Especially you. Actually, once he becomes the Dreadnought, the color scheme is really cool. Because it becomes, like, a darker, kind of a sick, like, metal green color. And this is alright as well. It's acceptable. A green apple. Never seen one of those before. And again, like, this is what's going to happen here is... my problem here is that the first one was green, and then they made you this disgusting, like, highlighter, bile green color. Why couldn't they just do the same thing they did with Appleton? Because Appleton actually looks right, with the green apple on its head and the kind of, like... reptilian green color. And then you look okay, I guess. You're in like acceptable. Again, it's the whole copper becomes green, so original. So it's we've got more. Actually, we have more like green shiny Pokemon that I like than I expected. Like, let me think. If we count them, like how many are in a row? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10. So there are 19 Pipit tier green Pokemon. I want to like clarify this. They are Pipit tier in the kind of amongst the other green shiny Pokemon. They are Pipit tier in this realm, in this heat. If we put them into battle against in like the bigger pool of green of shiny Pokemon, they would not be Pipit tier. Not all of them anyway. I still feel like that these are really like cool looking. Like, for such a forgettable Pokemon, they are like really sharp looking and shiny. Then we have 34 acceptable looking, so 33 plus 20, 53. So we have 53 green shiny Pokemon that I think look good. 53. Then in terms of ones that look bad, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 89, 92. Those stats aren't good. So that means, like, let me think. You're pretty much, if you're born a green shiny Pokemon, you're like twice as likely to be despised as adored. And those odds aren't good. Alright. Okay, so how do I save this? I can save or download. What's presentation mode? Presentation mode for what? When I like, maybe I should do the YouTube essay, YouTube video essay. Save or download. Download image. Okay, let me put this in the Discord.